Okay, as I was saying before the video cut off, I haven't really noticed much difference in between the different modes as far as gas mileage. The real only difference is what most of you already know, but what the modes are for is that it greatly stiffens up the suspension and the handling characteristics of the car as you go into the more aggressive modes, sport and N mode, whereas normal mode is, everything is sort of more balanced out, and eco mode is quite soft as far as suspension goes. Now that's not to say that the acceleration of the car, say you have it in 6th gear cruising the interstate, is really any less in eco mode than it would be in the others. I really haven't noticed a tremendous difference in that. I don't have any kind of accelerometer or anything that would prove me right or wrong there. It's just a seat of your pants kind of feeling. Let's just say in eco mode, if you are cruising in eco mode on the interstate, you have more than enough power and more than enough acceleration to pass anybody that you need to pass. So you don't have to shift it into another mode if you're worried about that. Now this comes to another thing that really kind of a pet peeve, or something that I wasn't really aware of when I bought the car. I thought it would be different, considering that this is a 4-cylinder car. Ultimately, even though it does have a turbo, I figured the gas mileage would be much better than it is, but it is not. Just case in point, again, talking about interstate driving, this car in 6th gear will turn about 28 to 2900 RPMs at 70, 72 so miles an hour. That's a lot. As a comparison, my previous car, Mustang GT 5.0, at those same exact speeds were churning about 1800 RPMs. So the Mustang in itself was getting, even though it had a much bigger displacement engine, a much bigger engine as a whole, much more horsepower and torque, was getting better gas mileage at those speeds than this car is. Now, city driving is a lot different. City driving is typical 4-cylinder fare. You get really good gas mileage as far as what I've done. But I do most of my driving, like I said, on the interstate, on long highways, where I get it up into its higher gears, 5th and 6th, ultimately 6th, and then I set it and forget it, and I don't have to do a lot of switching of gears. So I do notice the RPM range up there in its higher revs all the time. I know why they did it. It's to keep the turbo in a good boost range, I'm sure. I don't know if all the other Velosters act like this, as far as having that high RPM range setting as they're cruising along, but this one definitely does. So if you're thinking that, hey, I'm going to get this car, it's a 4-cylinder, it's always going to be great on gas, don't always believe what the Moroni sticker tells you at the car lot, because in real world driving, that just isn't the case, at least in my experience. And like I said, I've had this for 5 months now. It's got almost 3,500 miles on it, so I have a lot of experience so far with driving at that rate at those speeds and noticing these things. I do put, even though it's not recommended, well, I should say it probably should be recommended. I don't know that it's recommended in the book. I'd have to check the instruction book. I do always put 93 or the highest I can possibly get as far as fuel goes, and have no problems with that. Living in my area, North Carolina, you can fill this car up on average with about $32, and it's completely full with 93. So that's nice. But again, I burn fuel out of this car about the same rate as I burned it out of a Mustang or a Camaro. There's really no difference there. All right, so we talked about some of the things that I liked and some of the things I don't like. I am going to publish a video where you can see a little bit more of the actual driving of this car. I know there's plenty of driving videos for the Veloster and much better reviews than mine, but again, this is a personal casual review of the car, more of a documentation for future use, of what I've liked and what I don't like. Once we get a better sunny day here with no rain, we'll come back to the car and show you what it can really do. So thanks for watching these videos. I hope you learned something. If you liked the video, give me a like and come back next time and check out some more videos at your leisure. Thanks, and bye.